Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Tuesday, September 25th, and this is the market overview. Looking at everything same things we look at every single night. Alright, so today was really, really cool, I thought. In that, we just had so much that just worked itself off. Last night we were talking about the downticks on the Dow SPX, and also talking about the Dow Jones transports. How people were thinking about that. I was looking for a move up on that, and yet at the same time we had downticks on the Dow and SPX, looking at the targets for those. And oddly enough, everything worked together today. It was pretty interesting. Here we are with the Dow. We had the downtick yesterday. It was met today. At the time it didn't look like it would fulfill this so darn fast, but sure enough, it was just humming right along this morning, and then it all just fell to pieces. Not the end of the world. I mean, 100 points, but all that matters to me was the downtick was met, and that's just really darn cool. So according to the rules now, we have to see what it wants to do next. It can go up, it can go down. That's just the nature of the beast. We have the 14-day RSI moving average moving on up. Today didn't mean jack squat to it. So in the end, at some point, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's later, it's going to turn around, it's going to go back up. That's just all there is to it. We have the stochastics moving on down, CCI moving on down, RSI moving down, MACD moving down, MACD histogram moving down. Notice, big green candle. We did not get to the halfway mark. We haven't even got to support yet. So there should be some kind of interaction with that should we get there tomorrow. And it's not even, guaranteed, of course, that we're going to do that. But and crossing the middle Bollinger Band today, it was pretty, people going nuts. This was still just 100 points to the downside. So the guys on TV make it sound like, oh, it's the end of the world. But anyways, and last night we had looked at the Dow Jones transports, looking for a signal. We had been talking about it had the move down. SPX and the Dow had not. Had a green candle, almost had an uptick, and we were looking for possibility of this going up, and then the Dow and SPX having to join it. The cool thing about that was, it ended red. Wasn't a good day for transports, but at the same time, initially, it did have a really significant bounce, which of course crapped out. But still, it was just cool. It was just cool. It's nice when things do what you think that they should do anyway. SPX, more of the same. We had the downtick yesterday, and it was met today. Boom. That's ultra cool. We got to see what it wants to do next. But let's say that we are going to have some continued weakness. Entirely possible. It did meet, or it did break the halfway point of the big green candle. So first support knocked out, another support right here at the bottom of that candle. Beyond that, bar retest 1430. It's only 10 points to the downside. Not even doesn't even equal what we did today. Secondary wise, everything's the same as the Dow, although we do have a bearish cross on the MACD. But beyond that, if we do exceed 1430 by some chance, and there definitely will be an interaction there, you'd be looking at the major price consensus level right over here at 1407, and I don't know that it'll actually get there. Maybe the upper price consensus level over here at 1412 roundabout. And 60-minute time frame for the Dow and SPX. I'll just look at them as one, since they're essentially the same thing. We have a blip on the heat map. We have everything pointing down. Not too far until we reach the bottom of that area. So yeah, we could have some more. And if it gets caught, it should be caught down here. Yeah, 1430. So actually there isn't, other than the blip in the heat map, everything's pretty darn low. We'd just be looking for a turn to the upside, and that'll probably be bought aggressively, especially if it's at that 1430-ish area. Going on to the VIX. Very nice. Very nice. Last night we were saying closed below the lower price consensus level, and that was bearish. We keep looking for a retest of the previous low, and it keeps refusing. Today, very strong move up. It pierced and closed at the major price consensus level, 15.5. And we had talked about looking for a secondary reset. The 14-day RSI moving average is moving down, and everything moving up to meet it. Everything moving up to meet it. How far can it take it? Well, we can see we're hitting the long-term moving average bar. Got into it a little bit, forced to back away. It's exactly what it's supposed to do. So, at this point, as long as it does not gap up, if it gaps up way into it, which I don't think it will, there's no cheating. Cheating is bad, and then it'll probably fall out of it. Now, if it were to do a steady climb here, just chop around, wear out the bar, try to beat it up naturally, that would be really good. Then again, easily could fail at this spot, but simply not enough info for that kind of determination. Certainly we can see that it should have some fight left in it, but ultimately it should fail when it meets this sucker right here and joins it. So, TNA, small caps. Wow, they took a smashing today. I do believe that is totally bearish engulfing, and yes it is, and that is certainly bearish. Finally resolving the downtick from way back here, and that was on its 5th day. Missed it by 1 day. I think that we talked in the video last night about sometimes even when they're late, eventually they do get resolved. And what do you know? It did happen today. 14-day RSI moving average holding sideways. Everything else moving down, getting a bearish cross on the MACD. So absolutely bearish. Downtick met. We have to see what it wants to do next. It's very close to the long-term moving average bar. Just a little bit hesitant. Such a big move, and I'd really like to see what happens next. 60-minute time frame, just to try to get a feel. Blip in the heat map as a bottoming area, good for at least a small bounce, should be. And coming right into the support of this entire level. See how it's just essentially one big line, and we're coming down to kiss it. Beyond that, everything moving down with the exception of the CCI, it getting bought a little bit at the end of the day. From the position of everything, the histogram, the stochastics, It sure doesn't seem like it has too much time before it'll be due for a move up, even if that just happens to be a stochastics blip, but that would still be worth $1 or so at least. If it were to break this level, then I would assume it would be natural for it to go right here at the $58 level. But that's asking for a lot, so I'm not really too hopeful for that. UUP, the dollar, very interesting. We keep waiting for that retest of this low right here, and it continues to not happen. I mean, when that happens, the bulls are just going to be rejoicing. You know, you could look at this and say, this is a move down. Now it's like a bear flag, and then it's going to break down again. That's entirely reasonable, but yeah, you have the CCI moving up, stochastics moving up, RSI moving up, MACD histogram moving up, bullish cross on the MACD. 14-day RSI moving average continues to click lower. At some point, all of these are going to top out, going to roll over, and go down and meet the 14-day RSI moving average, which will probably end up with our retest of that low. When does it happen? That is the million-dollar question, and I don't have an answer for that. We did have the two upticks which have not been resolved. First one being the 22, the other one being the 2190. Could go up, tag those, or even maybe a bar retest, and maybe then fall apart. But I mean, it has all kinds of little gaps and stuff in here. Maybe it's going to go and fix some of those. But notice too, it also has not made a new recent high. Although this is the first green candle that's kind of high. Last few videos, it would jump up here and it would look good. It would give a uptick, and then I'd say, oh, yeah, but it's a red candle. It had no strength after its jump up. Today it didn't even really jump up. I mean, it moved down and then moved up. But green candle in a better position at least. I mean, that is something for the dollar bulls. And excuse me, GLD. Yeah, check that out. We had that downtick yesterday. It moved up. It fell during the day. It hasn't really moved anywhere. Still have 3 more days for it to resolve the downtick target. But overall, considering how everything else was, this wasn't a bad move on gold. You did get a first day downtick on the 14-day RSI moving average. CCI going sideways, stochastics down, RSI down. MACD looking for a bearish cross down on the MACD histogram. It seems logical that would be going down here to the sub 170 level, at least to do a bubble corrective move. But it did not have a bad day. It didn't close below yesterday's low. What can you say? Could have done so much better. And CompQ, the NASDAQ. Very cool. Very cool. We had already resolved the downtick target yesterday, which was awesome. And today, just putting a little exclamation point right on the end of it. Interesting how you have the big green candle here, and really got to almost, the real body, you kissed the real body bottom, barely bounced up. Still topping area, it is working itself off, and everything is moving down. This looks bad in the daily, but after such a big move, Why wouldn't there be a little bit of a bounce tomorrow? It would seem logical to me. But nonetheless, anyone who sees a candle like this has to get at least a little bit concerned that it'd be go back further. In which case, if it does, 3,100. That's bar retest, upper price consensus level, previous support. That seems totally natural. And Apple. Last night we were saying we got a downtick on Apple. It was resolved intraday. Have to see what it would want to do next. And following that rule, it sold off pretty darn hard. Well, for Apple, pretty darn hard. Busting out the upper price consensus level. Everything is moving to the downside. We've been following the 14-day RSI moving average now for a while. It's taken it quite a while to actually mean what it means. And but beyond that, if this sucker is going to have some more, you never know because of the news overnight. The natural level would be the major price consensus level, which is partially into the long-term moving average bar, and that is about 663, and very close to previous support down at 357 roundabout. One of those two should catch it if it continues to the downside, but the dippers may show up tomorrow, in which case it's just going to go up. It is filling this gap right here, which is good. You want that filled, and this gap is already filled, so just this one left. That'd be natural. That'd take it down to 670, only just shy of $4 from where it is now. Coincides with the long-term moving average bar, the very top of it. Yeah, I mean, now we have a gap up here that needs to be filled. So, I don't think that this is going to be a big rollover or anything like that. On any money day that there's not money in the market, Ben's money shows up. So, losing battle for the bears, in my opinion, in the long run, just a matter of grinding down the bears and showing them who's boss. Certainly didn't happen today, though. Woo! And GE, this one was pretty incredible. I was watching this one intraday. It had the downtick from yesterday, but even when the market was selling off, for the longest time, GE was green and big green. But by the end of the day, turning red. 14-day RSI moving average still moving up. Everything else clicking down slightly. Maybe you'll get a partial secondary reset before going back up to meet the 14-day RSI moving average. But I'd be happy just with that reset on a $22 dip, 31 cents from where we are now. And for this one, as strong as it was today, it does seem a little bit unlikely, but it has 3 more days to do it, so we'll see. And JP Morgan, most important bank, bearish engulfing. We had the downtick target right here, has not met it yet. Working off the topping area in the heat map, 14-day RSI moving average still moving up. Everything else moving down, looking for a bearish cross on the MACD. Not far to go to do that bubble corrected move. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow. Closing below the middle Bollinger Band. And except for the dippers coming in tomorrow, it seems like it's aligned very well to do that. But we'll see how that's received in the morning or overnight. And XLF, financials as a whole, the banks. And most certainly we had the downtick target resolve yesterday, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, right on the money. And today, waiting to see what happens next. And it's almost a complete bearish engulfing, but it is bearish engulfing the real body of yesterday's candle. Downtick on the 14-day RSI moving average. Everything else moving to the downside. Completing bearish cross on the MACD. Unless the dippers come in and buy this, it certainly seems to be in trouble. Beyond that, should be some support right here at 1554. But if it breaks that, I would imagine that if it's somehow able to fight through the long-term moving average bar, the natural area would be right here at 15.2. And USO oil, very interesting. Bearish engulfing totally. Not getting any kind of a bounce, really. I mean, it had its moments today, but wow. The Saudis came out and said that they want Brent oil at 100. They feel that that's a fair price and a price to get Obama reelected, and which means that U.S. oil is going to be something in the 80s, low 80s, maybe even the high 70s. Lining up today perfectly with the upper price consensus level from last month and stopping. That would seem only natural that beyond that, our next real level will be right here at 32.84. And when oil is bearish, the market should be bearish. So very interesting. If it should go down here, and they're fixing the price, so it should go down here. How the market is going to have legs beyond those QE $3. So beyond that, 14-day RSI moving average moving down, CCI up, stochastics locked low, down on the RSI, down on the MACD, down on the MACD histogram. Seems like a good setup for moving down. Let's see what kind of counter reaction happens tomorrow. And I think that's about it. Yep, I think that's about it. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you very much.